So if there's one thing that I see in the comments of the videos that I'm on here, on this channel, on other channels, everyone's always asking me, John, what did you do to keep your hair on your head? People, some people know who know me, but a lot of people don't know that I'm 44 years old. So I'm older, and that makes people wonder more because they're like, he's an older guy. There's no way he kept that hair on his head all this time without doing anything. I see these comments all the time, and a funny story is even John Travolta, somebody I looked up to as a kid, because he had great hair. He came to my house like 2 weeks ago, walked in, and this is a true story. And the first thing he does when he looks at me, he says, John, you got great hair. What did you do to keep it? So even John Travolta himself was asking me what I did to keep my hair. So I figured, it's been a long time coming because everyone's asked me to make a hair video. And I've talked about it a little bit in the videos in the past, but I didn't really give a full video dedicated to it because I just felt like it wasn't the right time to do it. So I'm going to tell you guys now what I did. Now, this isn't going to be a video to make you guys fight with each other, to argue with telling me, John, that shit doesn't work for me. It's going to cause your dick not to work, all these different things. I'm not even getting involved in that. I'm going to tell you guys what I did, what worked for me. I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm telling you what worked for me and what didn't. And I'm going to start by telling you the story first, okay? So when I was like 13, 14 years old, in my younger years, I always had the thickest full head of hair. I never had anything. I always was known to have like really thick, ropey hair on Middle Eastern background. So I never ever thought, even I remember going to a barber as a kid and the barber would cut my hair and he's like, John, you never have to worry about hair loss because you're never going to lose your hair. So I never ever thought that I would ever lose it. And then after puberty, I had started to notice that like my hairline got like my forehead got bigger. And that's part of being an adult. But later on, I would say like 18, 19 years old, 20, somewhere around there, I noticed the temple area, the hairs were starting to thin out even more. And I'll never forget, at that time, I was playing in a band. And I was at a bar, and one of my friends was looking at me. He's like, John, you can't be no rock star if you're bald. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not bald. He's like, yeah, your hair is thinning. And I was drinking a little bit, and that shit just stuck out in my mind. I said, how's this guy telling me I'm bald? I see myself in the mirror a certain way. There's no way this is true, right? And I go back home, and I start looking in the mirror under different lighting, and I said, you know what? Maybe this guy's telling me the truth. So I started noticing it more. And you know what they say? They say when you start noticing your hair thinning, you lost a big portion of your hair because otherwise you wouldn't notice it. So I noticed it started freaking me out for a while. And then I had this other friend, and he had a big afro, curly hair, full head of hair. And I asked him, I said, listen, man, what did you do to keep your hair? Because look at your hair is so thick, and now I'm worried. I'm playing music. I can't play music if I'm bald. And he's like, John, I'm taking something called Propecia. And now this is the year 1999. And back then, there wasn't that much knowledge on things. There wasn't people going on the internet saying, your dick is not going to work if you take this shit. There wasn't any of that. So he did his research on that drug, which was only a few years old at the time. And he was taking it for a couple of years, and he told me that he was thinning. I couldn't believe it prior to that, and he had a full thick of hair. So I'm saying, you know what? If he has this thick, full head of hair, right, and it didn't do anything to him, let me try this drug.
It's go time. It's time to take it off. It's go time. I got to jump off. Baby, it's go time. When it's y'all bedtime, I'm ready for showtime. Bring it back. Bring it back. Yeah, it's go time. It's time to take it off. It's go time.
And I would say like the first week or two, I started getting like this, the side effects I'm going to tell you guys. So what happened to me was I started feeling like my hair, my scalp was burning. And I was worried about it. And I was like, what is this burning feeling? But then I was like, you know what? It probably means it's working. But then I got this ache in my balls. And it lasted for like a week. And I asked him, I go, listen, man, you taking this shit, you got an ache in the balls. He's like, yeah, that's normal. It'll go away. Don't worry about it. Just keep on taking the thing. So I took it for a couple months. Didn't notice much. And then I would say like 6 months to a year, okay, I started noticing the hairs that were in the temples that were thinning at the time start to thicken up. And then the crown, which was the most noticeable on me, on the top of the head, was thickening up too. And now, fast forward all these years later, which I can't do the math, what is it, 15, 20 years, something like that? Maybe more, actually, probably 25 years. I've kept all my hair. And I've been on this, it was 1 milligram a day. Just telling you guys, I was taking 1 milligram a day for many, many years into my 30s. And then when I took testosterone, I started doing 2.5 milligrams. So I upped the dosage just because I knew my DHT will be higher. And I wanted to combat the fact that the DHT levels might be higher. So I took a little bit more. So I've been doing it all these years. And I'm here as evidence that I kept all my hair. Now, I'm not going to get into, like I said in the earlier video, I'm not going to get into, oh, you're going to have problems with your dick, things like that. Like I said, and I've said this before, nobody I know had this problem with the dick not working. I'm not telling you guys to do it, but listen, it's 24 to 48 hours in your system, in your blood. So if you have a problem with your dick, just stop taking it. It's simple as that. And try something. It might work for you. Now, I never tried minoxidil, which I know is proven to work as well. And the reason why I haven't tried it is because, to me, if I can't fix my hair, what's the point of having it? And putting that greasy mess in the hair a couple of times a day wasn't worth it to me. And then also my uncle had taken it and it worked for him, but then he lost all his hair anyway because it's like impossible to keep up with. And now the other thing that people use is Kenakazole shampoo. And I don't personally like that shampoo because, and I've tried it, and I just feel like if you're taking Propecia, the benefits of the gains that you're going to get from that shampoo is so little and minimum, it's not worth what it does to your hair quality. Because I tell you, I use that like once or twice a week, and my hair was so unmanageable, I couldn't fix it. And it looked like the quality of the hair, the strands, everything was so weak. I just didn't like the way it made it look, and I didn't think that I was getting many benefits out of it, so I stopped using it. So I just stay on Propecia, and I never went to dutasteride. I know dutasteride is stronger than Propecia, but as long as this is working for me, that's what I use. So something I forgot to tell you guys is my family history. And my father's side of the family, they all have really, really great hair genetics. My father lost hair when he was younger because he got hay fever, but the rest of his side of the family all have a great, full, thick head of hair. My mom's side, they're all bald. They don't even have 3 hairs on their head that they can style. So all that talk about like you take after your mother's side or you don't take after your father's, I don't think that's true because otherwise I would be bald, Propecia or not. So genetics are a huge part of it. And again, I didn't make this video because I'm trying to convince you guys to take it. I get asked what I do. So I'm telling you guys what it is I do to maintain my hair. And it's only been Propecia all these years and it's worked for me. And again, as men, we don't have that many things we can do to keep ourselves young. We can't do the things that women do. We're not put in topes, or at least most of us are not put in topes. So hair is an important thing and it helps your confidence as a man and it keeps you younger. So if you guys want to try it, try it. I'm not telling you to do it. And hopefully this helps you guys because you all asked me what I did for my hair, and that's what I did.